Hello everyone, I'm here recording a Modern Masters draft for ToothAndTail.com. I'm very excited to try out this format. I know virtually nothing about it though, so bear with me. I really just want to have a lot of fun and hope to draft something sweet. I've seen a bunch of green-based domain decks because there's both Kodama's Reach and Search for Tomorrow's at common. So that sounds kind of exciting. And then there's also, the random tribal themes like rebels. I suppose giants. I don't know if they're really a thing, but I suppose we'll find out. I really just want to draft something sweet, which does not seem like a hard thing to do when playing with a bunch of powerful cards. It's like Cube, except slightly worse. Oh, man. Alright, well, Demigod of Revenge is sweet. Let's see. Yeah, Demigod of Revenge, Binding Beam. This does seem hard to cast. Nothing else really excites me quite as much as that in Blinding Beams. I mean, Blinding Beam. Tribal Flames is good. Bone Splitter is good. Oh, I need to turn off my sounds. Well, I figured out how to turn the sounds off and barely made it back in order to take Demigod of Revenge. I decided, you know what, why not play with the rare? It seems sweet. It's a hasty flyer. It's cost 5 mana. And we'll hope to play Black-Red. And Greater Gargadon is a sweet follow-up. I honestly don't think I've ever played this in Limited, but at the same time, I guess it's a 9/7 that doesn't necessarily do much. Maybe Blight Speaker is just better. I've seen this card do a lot of work. This also seems okay. Kind of a interesting, sometimes Flame Tongue Kavu. It's clearly between one of those three cards. I don't think Thieving Sprites is really what I want to be doing. I want to be somewhat aggressive, and I think that taking Blight Speaker early probably has a lot of benefits. So we're going to do that. I have no idea. Well, okay, this is interesting. So Worm Harvest is good, but it might also be impossible to cast. Unless I just play Mono Black, I guess. I'm a little sad because Ivory Giant is very good. Or at least it was in whatever format that was. Time Spiral Block Draft. There's another Blight Speaker, which I'm kind of inclined to take. There's Deep Cavern Imp, which is okay, but I don't know if having a discard outlet is actually helpful. It really is between those two cards, though. And I don't know, the Hasty Flyer versus this guy. I don't know, consistency seems good, so I'm just going to take the Blight Speaker. Rothy Trapper is a sweet follow-up. It's also Torrent of Stone, which is a very good removal spell. But I think that Rothy Trapper is probably still better. This card's very, very good. And I can find it, because I have 2 Blight Speakers already. It's just very exciting. I'm a little sad to see Incremental Growth and Giant Duskwasp and Penumbra Spire, all very good green cards going by. But we'll stick on the plan and see what happens. Alright, so there's Fiery Fall and Death Rattle. I think taking Fiery Fall is the better choice. It cycles, it fits on our colors, presumably, and it can kill a lot of things. This can kill some of the bigger, beefier creatures that this might not be able to, but this can kill anything and find a land if I need it to. Yeah. Playing with a lot of Time Spiral cards, apparently. Oh, second Empty Thorns. Don't think this is really a Storm deck. There's there's a White Rebel. And there's some kind of mediocre stuff. So Imperiosaur seems okay. Street Wraith is the only like on-color card, so to speak. Squee doesn't seem very good. Maybe I can just take Vivid Meadow. I don't know. We'll take Street Wraith. Street Wraith seems okay. Hope I'm not just killing myself here. Alright, so this guy, I'm happy taking one here. I think he's better than Thundering Giant by a pretty huge margin. What is this? Okay, that's interesting. It's not a bad card, but I'm pretty happy just taking the Deadeye. Ooh, wow. Wow. So, that is a little unfortunate. I think that I'm just gonna take Mog War Marshals, though. Maybe it's not too late to jump on this weird green train that's happening. I mean, Wood Reader's is very good. I'm gonna stay safe and take the War Marshal. I really do want to be an aggressive deck, and Wood Readers doesn't really lend itself to that. I feel like we've got the start of something, a very good aggressive deck. I mean, we've got the top end for it, and we've got some decent reach guys. Having the aggressive creatures seems solid. This guy is just... Oh, I guess he's good in Storm. Alright, well, I'll take him, just in case we do end up playing some number of Empty the Warrens. You never know. And we'll take Vivid Crag. I mean, the Vivid lands are decent. Whoa, really? I guess I really should just take the Vivid Creek, as much as I don't necessarily want to. Alright, so Empty the Warrens. War Marshal versus Festering Goblin. I don't know. War Marshal does seem better, just in general. Sure, whatever. I have seen some people play Sweetless with a bunch of dirtily arcane cards like this and Glacial Rays. It's a card I wouldn't mind picking up. But we've got an interesting... Ooh. Interesting. Okay, so there's... The Eternal Witness is very good, but I'm just taking Murderous Redcrap. Oh, I'm pretty sure. I don't think Life from the Loam is worth anything. And this card's very good. Alright, Pepper Snow, Glacial Ray. I like Tide Hollow Sculler. Absorb Vis I remember being okay, but not great. If I was playing fairies, I would like this. But yeah, I think Glacial Ray, even as just a 2-mana shock, is decent. And if I do pick up any other arcane spells, which isn't out of the question, I'm pretty happy playing it. Alright, so here we just get a second Fiery Fall, and maybe Wheel, Empty the Warrens, or Fairy Macabre, either of which I would play. Alright, so there's a Drag Down, which I'm not super excited about. There's really not much else in this pack, though. There's the Umbra Seekers, which are good in Rebels, not necessarily where I'm going right now. I don't know, maybe this is a -2/-2 might be good enough. What is this? Oh, so that's probably not happening. So yeah, it's really Drag Down or an off-color card like Sylvan Bounty as a bad fixer, or I guess Stack More Salvage. I don't think this is any good, but I'll just take Drag Down. It should be okay if nothing else. Interesting. Oh, alright. That's actually a halfway decent card. I think I'm okay with taking that. I mean, I have the 2 Mog War Marshals, the Murderous Redcap, I think Grinningham. Oh, no, Elemental. Never mind. And the Empty of Warrens, potentially. And getting this guy back over and over isn't the worst. Or even just being able to, like, turn 4, play it and a War Marshal or a Blight Speaker or something. Those are all reasonable lines of play. Ooh, Dragonstorm. Wish I could make that happen. Giants to each non-giant creature. Wow, that card's powerful if you're playing with giants. Now I kind of want to take this guy and see if I can pick up some more giants. Seems very good. That card's definitely powerful. Yeah, it's definitely the most playable card for me out of those packs. Alright, I'm fine taking a second Grinning Ignis. If we wheel the other Empty the Warrens, it'll really pay off to have those. As you know, you spend X amount of red mana -1, and then cast Empty the Warrens for however many times you could cast this guy. Ideally, I mean, if you do it on turn 4, you get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 8 tokens. So it seems reasonable. I don't know if it's actually good, but yeah, I'm fine taking Grapeshot. Same principle that it's decent with the 2 Grinning Ignis and just the generally cheap thing that I have going on. On that note, I'm going to take Festering Goblin. It's not the best, but it could potentially let me play Anti-Snitch on turn 2. And it's not the worst either. Here I'm going to take Absorb this, though. Might help me splash a 3rd color and improve the value of this drag down. Alright. Evasive Flyer is not bad. I'll take the Giant just in case we get enough of them. To go with my Thundercloud Shaman. Don't know if that's really going to be a thing, but here. I keep forgetting to do this. Alright, so yeah, take the... this actually seems decent. But yeah, I'm just going to take the Thundering Giant. Go along the theme of big red dirtily things. Sure. Surprised at that table, given all of the acceleration that's been running around. Can I resize this? Apologize, everyone. I'm still getting used to the new client. That's gonna. Oh, here. There we go. Alright, that's a good spot for it. Sure. I don't know if this even helps at all. You can barely read it. Anyway. Ooh, Skeletal Vampire. That's a sweet one, and it's infinitely better than everything else in this pack. And there are actually 3 really good red cards that I would like to wheel in Fiery Fall, Riftbolt, and Sudden Shock, and it's possible. I actually would really like to wheel Riftbolt to go with the Empty the Warrens and the Grapeshot, but I won't be too picky. I don't know if that's making it or not. Strat Blast is definitely not a card I'm playing. I think, let's see, so there's Riftbolt, there's another Blight Speaker, and a Terramorphic Expanse. I don't really think this is what I want to do. Sting Scourger is also under consideration, but I think Riftbolt is better. Maybe not by a lot, but a little bit. And I think that I'm going to take it over the 3rd Blight Speaker. I really want the extra removal / burn. Plus, it does work well with both Grape Shot and Empty the Lines. And I don't know if I'm necessarily playing Grape Shot, but I could probably pick up a second Empty the Warrens this pack and try and overwhelm my opponents. I usually don't like drafting Storm ever, but apparently it works at least to some extent in this format, so. Alright, so there's a Blind Spot Giant. That much damage +2. So I don't think that I want to take that. I don't think anyone else will either. It'll probably table. I'm just going to take Blind Spot Giant. Be my 4th Giant. And actually, if I pick up a couple more of these, then it might actually work out. Alright, this is an interesting pack. There's a really funny picture. There's Siphon Life, which is another good reach card that going into the end of the game can turn your lands into something else, which I always appreciate. There's a Brute Force, which is decent. There's Stinkweed Imp, which is good, but I don't actually know how good this is. I mean, it can't be bad, not by any means. It might be right. Maybe one of these other 2 cards wheels. I'm going to take Stinkweed Imp and see what happens. I mean, it's a very good card. Worst case scenario, it blocks their best thing, and if nothing else, it's still an evasive beater. Sting Scourger here is a pretty easy pick, I feel like. Warren Wielding, I don't think, is very good. I'm not dedicated enough to take Manamorphose, and Sting Scourger just does a lot of what I want. Alright, Tribal Flames is interesting. An Electrolyze that's potentially splashable, but I'm not really as excited about that. There's also Warren Pilferers, which I have a lot of goblins to go with it. Oh, this guy's a giant too. I didn't realize that. That's good to know. Yeah, it really comes down to Tribal Flames or Pilferers. I have a ton of creatures in here, and way too many cards. So playables are not going to be an issue. That's a good thing, at least. I'm just going to take Pilferers. I think it's decent. I don't think that Tribal Flames for 2 is really going to be that great. Parted Dragon is decent. It's not great, but and maybe it's just not necessary. I already have 2 really good high-end cards. Maybe I just want the Deep Cavern Imp, or yeah, because suspending this guy just seems so bad. I guess it only has suspend of 2, so maybe someday it comes into play, but I guess my other choice is to take Stinkweed Imp, so maybe, we'll give him a try. I don't expect this guy to really do much, but he's another good endgame that could certainly be worse. So not a slightly better fight. An interesting sack outlet. This could be good, actually. Some more really good green and white cards. Maybe I was just in the wrong colors. But I'll take Crush Underfoot. It's not the worst. Alright, Sudden Shock Wield, so I didn't get my Rift Vault back, but that's alright. I can live with that. Maybe I can splash Moldermine Cloak, actually. I have the 1 Vivid Land and the 2 Fiery Falls. It's certainly better than Sudden Shock. Yeah, I'll take that. Oh, wow. So there are, yeah. So how many giants do I actually have? 1, 2, 3, for only 5, so this would only give me 6 giants. That's probably not worth it. I think I'm just taking Blightspeaker. I like Sting Scourger, but 3rd Blightspeaker is pretty sweet. Yeah, sure, we'll take another evasive guy. Oh wow, Siphon Life and Brute Force Wield. Interesting. I think I've got enough late game that I think I want the trick. Alright, Face Vaulter might make it. I kind of doubt it, but you never know. We'll see how this goes. I'm really interested to see how this format plays out. I haven't, like I said, had the chance to play it at all yet. Been trying to wait until I could get back home to record some of it. Only one Empty the Warrens. I'm a little sad that I didn't manage to pick up a second one. But maybe I will play Grape Shot. 2 Grinning Ignis to go with it. The 1 Suspend spell. Maybe that's not good enough. Alright, so this is what we're looking at right now. Not playing the Giants, and I decided that Anti-Snitch is probably worse than just playing Glacial Ray. Even though this is just a shock, it still seems slightly better. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Festering Goblin could probably be cut for Partic Dragon or Street Wraith. I haven't quite decided which yet, but I decided not to run some of this stuff because it was worse than some of this other stuff. I know that's really descriptive and helpful, but I think that between Blightspeaker, the few burn spells, and the really, really good endgame, and I also decided that this was definitely worth it because I have Murderous Redcap to get back as well, and it does get back Sting Scourger and Mog War Marshal. I realize that that's only 4 goblin targets, but it can get back anything. So it can get back Skeletal Vampire or Demigod if they die. It won't have haste in that case, but meh. Alright, we'll be back for round 1 here in just a minute.